Hi, hello, it's Pip here from queenpipcards.com. Thanks for joining me today. Today we're playing with Field of Flowers again. This is my second video this week using this stamp set and bundle. It comes with this gorgeous large punch that does flowers in a ribbon. Well, they punch out in a strip. Anyway, you'll see. I'm not explaining that very well, but you'll see later on. So I've got 3 cards to share with you today. And I made all these cards using the Subtles palette. So all of the Balmy Blues, Highland Heathers, Petal Pink. I've used, what else have we got? Pepperzaz in here. So Saffron, all of those kind of Calypso Coral as well, all those kind of colours. And I like them very much, but I am always a brights girl. So I thought I would make them all again in brights for you on video. So this is the first one I'd like to start with. I've taken all of the stamps out of here. It's completely empty because we're pretty much going to use most of them today. So the start for this, I've decided to choose Flirty Flamingo as my base. And then Bermuda Bay as my second layer because they just go beautifully. And then just a top layer of Whisper White. And there's nothing particularly snazzy or clever or, you know, difficult in the sizings. It's just purely one layer on top of the other. The fun bit comes with the stamping. So we're going to get our Pierce mat and my sheet of grid paper. So I use the Stamparatus grid paper, the little mini one, because it's just perfect to fit on top of here, just in case you're stamping off. So like on here, we're stamping off the edge, so it's good to cover your Pierce mat so it doesn't get dirty and then get picked up on your next piece of cardstock, which is not what you want. Okay, so we're going to pop that down. So the colours for this, we're matching the colours on here. So the base here is Flirty Flamingo, so the writing here will be Flirty Flamingo, and then we'll put Bermuda Bay in amongst that. Now this is a switch around, not only of the colours but also of how it all stand out, because we're switching light with dark, etc. And then I've got we need 1, 2, 3 colours here, so I'm adding in, going mad then, so I'm going to add in Coastal Cabana because it fits beautifully with Bermuda Bay. So we'll do Coastal Cabana for the flowers, then we'll do Flirty Flamingo for these 2 words and these flowers, and then we will do Bermuda Bay for here and here and here. Does that make sense? It'll make sense as we go. So the first thing to get in place is your sentiments, because everything else is going to go around those. You don't want to do your flowers first and then not have any room for sentiments. So this is going to say always, right there in the middle. Okay, so now we need to put the sentiment on. So it's my friend, you are always in my heart. So we'll start off with my friend, and I decided to go crooked. So that way you haven't got to worry about anything. I know it's probably cheating, but that's how I kind of worked it. Let me just scrub that. So switch these out. So my friend, you are. Whoops, you are. Yes, there we go. And this one we're going to bring in Coastal Cabana. Here we go. So my friend, you are. Like that. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter then which way, whether you get it right or wrong. You don't have to worry about lining everything up, which, you know, is sometimes you need to do that. In my heart, there we go. Sometimes it doesn't matter whether you're straight or not. This one I thought I'd go kind of straightish. So in my heart like that. There we go. Yeah, it's not bad. So does that make sense? Okay, so I should have stamped my friend in Flirty Flamingo to be exactly the same as this card, but it doesn't matter. So I'm going to use Flirty Flamingo for my flowers to start off with, and then we'll fill in with a bit of Bermuda Bay, and we'll put that Coastal Cabana, dragonfly, that's the word, in between. So we'll start off here, starting off, and just sort of filling up into those spaces. You can turn your flowers round. You don't have to always do them at the same, you know, same side or shape or angle or whatever. So you can just fill those in however you like. And then we're going to leave a little bit of space for the dragonfly, like so. And then we'll pop another bit under here, like so. Okay, and then we're actually coming down a little bit lower than I did before, but that's all right. Nothing's wrong. It's always just a different. It's always going to be different. You're never going to get it exactly the same. There we go. I quite like that. And then we're going to go back in. This time I'm going to use Bermuda Bay. And I'm going to go back in with the larger flower. So you have a single flower stamp like this, which you can use to fill up spaces. So I'm going to pop some sort of in here. And that's where the dragonfly is going to go. So maybe not there. Let's see, where can I put one? Over there. I kind of want to put one in there, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to be tempted to do that. I'm going to probably put one just up here. There we go. So we've got like a 3 going on. Then what we're going to do is we're going to use Coastal Cabana. And we're going to stamp our dragonfly. Like so. Pop him up there. Yay. I love the dragonfly, so cute. And then we're going to use Coastal Cabana with the flowers, individual flowers, and a piece of cardstock. And we're just going to stamp and punch out a set of flowers. Now, make sure that you've got your flowers the right way round for your punch. Okay, so when you punch them, you turn it over to see them, so they stamp in that position. Okay, so quite close down to the base is always a good way to go. Right down here. All right, and then I'm actually going to shut my ink pad first off, and you'll see why. If you watched yesterday's video, you already know why. So, but if you haven't watched yesterday's video, then you'll understand in a moment. So we're going to line up our flowers through the flower holes. See that? So you can see the flowers through them. Then punch down, and that's why you close your ink pads, because they tend to whiz off everywhere. So they whiz off like this. There we go. And there's that one. There's that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, so make sure you've got 6 when you're finished. Yesterday I lost count completely of my flowers. Yesterday I lost count completely of my flowers, but it all came out right in the end. So, so now we're going to kind of scoop those over to one side. Now you can pop your flowers in to sort of fill in any holes that you've got. So for example, there's definitely a hole here somewhere, probably about there-ish. Got one over here, one here, so that's 3, 4, maybe 5 here. I'll put a little one just here. 6. Okay, so we've got our 6, because that's how many we've got. And then if you use your take your pick tool, you can easily pick them up and plop them down. You might just need to hold them a little bit because it's gluey. So you can get different sizes. You get medium, and then you get large, and then you get teeny tiny ones. I'll put another large one there, and then we get teeny tiny ones like this. They're so cute. And see, they just add a little depth and a little extra colour in where you can't get the stamp to go. Once you've stamped your sentiment, you can't get the other flowers in. So that's a good way of infilling, and you could always add infill with the same colour. It's up to you. I just decided to go different. Okay, so then it's just a question of gluing it all together and your card is done. How simple was that? So the measurements for this are up on my blog, but they're basically 14.4 by 10 for your base mat, and then 13.9 by 9.5 for your top mat, and then you just pop that down onto a A6 size base, which is half a A4 folded in half, so an A5 card base, like an A5 piece of paper. Oh, let's start that again. A5 folded in half gives you the A6 size. Okay, so that's that. Right, so that's that one. Very simple, but quite effective. And I love it in the brights versus the subtles. It's always nice to see how they come out in different... I mean, I like both of them, to be honest, but they're great, aren't they? So that's the first two. Next up, we are going to tackle this one, which isn't hard, but it uses the punch in a different way. So this is Calypso Coral with soft seafoam paper, and it's just this piece of cardstock here placed on top of a base layer that you've punched out. This time I'm going to really jazz things up, and we're going to go for Melon Mambo and Granny Apple Green. Because why not? So the first thing you need to do is you need to punch your card base, like your card layer, not your card base, like so. Okay, now you'll get lots of flowers out, that's great. Then when you pull it out, you can actually move it along. So if you move it along this way, can you see? I don't know if you can see. Let's try and angle it so you can see. But see here, there are silver flowers on the base. If you line those silver flowers up with your flowers that you've already punched, then when you punch, you're following the line along perfectly. Okay, you'll get a half flower, don't worry about that. And then you can do exactly the same on the other side. So on the other side, I would line them up this way. See how they line up? And then punch. I love how these ribbon punches work like that, but they kind of form a ribbon of flowers. So those are going to look delightful when you pop them on top of the Melon Mambo. Look at that. Look at those flowers pop, aren't they great? And then to tone it down a little bit, we've got this piece of Whisper White cardstock, which is cut to give a little bit of a border, and that we're going to stamp with the we're going to keep those flowers, going to need those later. We're going to stamp this with this long line of floral, it's like a wildflower meadow, isn't it? So I've put that up on the Stamparatus for ease. Okay, because it's all nice and lined up and I know where it's going to go. It's going to go kind of down here-ish, so I just need to find where this sits. Okay, so this one had a little bit of a border underneath it. This one I'm going to do exactly straight down, so it actually touches the bottom of the cardstock. So that's on my 9cm line, just on the paper that I chose to cut. And this is it's 7 cm by 13.9. So we're going to line it up. I have to remember which way around I'm going to do this. Line it up this way first. It's just working out backwards, so we're going to line it up just a little bit more. Like so. Yep, that'll work. So we're going to line it up there. Hold it with our magnet. That's the beauty of the Stamparatus, that if you make a mistake or you haven't stamped it properly, you can go back and stamp it again because it's all held in place. So ink this up with Granny Apple Green to match the green of the cardstock. So it's going to be really vibrant, this card. And then down, stamp, pull up, there we go. Then we're going to move it along to about there. And then we should, oh no, a bit more, over a bit more, that'll do. So we might have a bit of crossover, but that's okay, it's only going to be a little bit. And we're just inking up the bottom part of that, and that's going to go just in there, like so. There we are. And then now you see you've got that whole like line going all the way across, so that's good. So we'll clean that in a bit. Just use your chamois to clean your scrub. We're going to keep that out for the sentiment in a second. And then we need our Melon Mambo. So for the Melon Mambo, we're going to use that piece of cardstock we used previously. and we're going to do some more flowers. So here they are. So we're going to stamp these again close to the edge, and we need quite a lot, so we're going to do 2 lots. Might be a little close, but we'll give that a go. And then this time we turn it this way, and this time we can see, like we did before, the flowers through. So I love the versatility of this punch, that you can use it both ways round, if you see what I mean. You can make a border of card. Whee! If they really do fly. So you can make a border of card, or you can make a bunch of flowers. It's just really great that you can do both. I love it. Okay. Ooh, but they do fly, so you do need to make sure that you haven't got a lot of mess on your desk, otherwise you'll never find them again. Okay. Like I did yesterday. Is that everything? Is that all of them? I think so. All right. So we'll pop those in a little pile along with our little green ones over there. Okay, and then we're going to stamp a sentiment. So we've got always, and this goes in Melon Mambo to match the base card. I think this is going to be one of my favourite ones. I love these colours. So always, and I like the fact that really it doesn't, you can't really get it wonky. It doesn't, it's kind of bouncy. And then we're going to use Believe. Now this you do need to be a little bit more careful with. No, not Melon Mambo. Change inks. This needs to be in Granny Apple. So this one, you do need to make sure it's a little bit straighter. So again, use your grid lines. Come up above it. Pop it down. Oh, it's a little up, but I'm going to go with that. Again, Stamparatus is good for lining things up and making sure that they're always straight. I probably should have done that, but never mind. We will cope. Because it's handmade and it's not that far off, so we're okay. And then we start putting on our flowers. Now, these could be grasses or they could be flowers like we did before. So I'm making them into whatever I want. And we've got lots to do because we've got all of the green ones and all of the pink ones to do. So you can go a little bit mad and get carried away a little bit. And don't forget the ones down here. You can add in little ones here and there. Then with your lovely trusty take your pick tool, like we did before, you're just going to scatter all of these flowers everywhere, even the green ones, because it just gives a nice contrast. And I know you're probably not likely to get green flowers, we know that, but it does add something to the whole mix. So we're just going to put the pink ones on first, so that you know that they're nicely scattered like throughout the grass. Okay, I've got none over here, so let's put one there. There we go. Let's put the little one down there. Little one down here. Then we'll put a medium-sized one up there. Okay, so that's it. We've got a few spare left over. We can use those for another project. And now it's just a question of assembling. I did add pearls on the Calypso Coral one, but I think this one would look better with rhinestones, because the rhinestones are a little bit brighter. This is a Brights collection, so I will put some rhinestones to finish. Just some of our basic rhinestones. Make sure that's even. There we go, it's not bad. And then to stick this down, you need to you do need to make sure that you kind of get into these bits, but not too close to the holes, because you don't want the glue obviously to squish through. if you're using seal or tear and tape, then just put little bits just across here and here and here, just to try and make sure you've got that covered. Then with our card base, pop that down. Oh, look at that Melon Mambo showing through there. That's yummy. You could make it again with the in colours, that would also be yummy. And then, as I said, rhinestones to finish. So just pop them, I just put them on the green ones, on the larger green ones, like so, and then I'll pop one or two up here. I'll just put a couple, like so, like so. Actually, I need another one. Another one needed over here. There we go. There we go. So card number 2 is done. So I'm really liking how these are coming out with the subtles versus the brights, and you can choose whichever your favourite is, but at the moment I have to say I'm leaning towards the brights. Even though I made these first, I am, you know, I do love my bright colours, but that's what I wanted to show you, the difference between the two. And then the final card that we're going to do is this one, but I wanted to change this even more, and I'm going to switch it up and change it into a portrait card. So rather than it being landscape, this one's going to be portrait, just to be different. So for this, I've got a piece of Gorgeous Grape for the base. Love Gorgeous Grape. Then Coastal Cabana, and then Whisper White. So for this one, we're going to use the flowers and the stems. Now we are going to use Granny Apple Green because we need a green. And then we're going to use Gorgeous Grape for the flowers and for Always, and then we're going to bring Coastal Cabana in for the Dragonfly and the My Friend, so then it all kind of matches together again. Alrighty, so this one, so the first thing I did with this one is stamp the floral element, because that gives me my spacing. Now obviously this is different because it's portrait, not landscape. So I'm going to start off with my flowers up here, like so, rather than right at the bottom that I did on the landscape card, just because that then centralises the image a bit better. Then I'm going to use the Gorgeous Grape. Oh, this is just going to be lovely, and I haven't even done it yet, and I just know it's going to be just gorgeous. And these two sit on top of these stems like this. Ta-da! Aren't they yummy? Just so yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay. And then we need Gorgeous Grape again, and we're going to stamp the sentiment, Always. But this is where we're going to have to be careful with our positioning. So I'm going to actually drop it down, because it won't fit that way. It might fit up there, but I actually prefer it, I think. Oh, actually, maybe I can do it up there. No, I prefer it down here. So we're going to just do Always just here. Make sure I'm actually on the paper. Sort of straight, there we go. Yeah. And then in the Coastal Cabana, we're going to do My Friend. So we'll find My Friend. And again, you could use the Stamparatus if you're not comfortable with stamping straight onto your cardstock, like so. Yeah, that's cool. And then we need the Dragonfly, also in Coastal Cabana, just to give us something sort of lifting off and up this way. So we'll just have the Dragonfly just popping out up there. Now for this one, I used 2 pieces of the Flowers for Every Season combo pack. So it comes in a pack of 3, this ribbon combo pack. And so far we used this one. Did we use this one? Or did I use that one yesterday? I used this one yesterday. And then on this one I used this one and this one on this. See, just there. But it doesn't really need anything on here. And if I add if we put in something like Just Jade, it's not quite the right colour. We could put in some white, but then it just sort of cuts across the whole although that doesn't look bad. But it does cut across the whole thing. So I'm tempted to just leave it without a ribbon and see how it looks on the Coastal Cabana base, and then we might make another decision with the white. So we'll just pop this down. It's always good once you've got your colour base on to then make a decision about your actual ribbon choices, because it has to work with both. It has to work with the Whisper White and the Coastal Cabana and the Gorgeous Grape. So we'll position it. Oops, let's get this in the right position. Down a bit. There we go. So we'll pop that on, and then we'll take that off. We'll have a look and see how that sits. See, that's just going to look gorgeous like that. I'm not sure it needs anything ribbony. No, I think I'm not going to go with ribbon. I loved it this time. It worked really well here. I just wrapped a piece around and then just tied it in a knot. I glue dotted it to the ribbon, so it just tied a bow on top of it. So it worked really nicely there, but this time I think I'm just going to go with some rhinestones. So I'll pop this one down. Sometimes you need to know when not to put something on, just as much as you need to know when to put something on, if that makes sense. There we go. Is that the front? Just check. No. Oh, maybe it is. Yes, it is. Right, there we go. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Okay, so that goes on there like that. Make sure that's straight. Yeah, and then I think we just need a few scatterings of rhinestones. So, and a scattering, it really is like just a scattering. So we'll put one up there, put one just close by it here, another one just sort of here-ish. There we go. Just sort of 3 random rhinestones just gives it a little lift. So that one ended up being the fastest of the 3 because we didn't do the ribbon piece and we didn't have to do any punching. So we have this one that I've switched round. We have this one, which we've turned into brights, and we have this one, which we've turned into brights. So they're all very different, but I think they're all just as lovely in their different ways. Trying to get them all on the screen at the same time. It's pretty hard, actually. There's so many of them. There we go. I think that's done. So yeah, I mean, it all uses the always, but it doesn't have to always, use the always sentiment every time. I did one yesterday that didn't. If you looked at the video yesterday, one of the cards there didn't use that always sentiment, but it is lovely bouncy writing, so I do like that. So there's 3 designs, 6 different ways in all the different colours, in both subtles and brights. And you could do them in regals, you could even do them in neutrals. They'd look lovely in neutrals. So I hope you like that. I hope you've enjoyed seeing how it looks in all the different colours, because that was kind of my aim. And also just playing around with this fabulous stamp set, which is available to purchase now through my store. So if you want to buy anything Stampin' Up, any of these colours really rock your world, then get in touch. All the links below for my shop, and you can always just reach out, contact me through the comments, etc. I love reading your comments and seeing what you like most, and I always try and answer them. So if there's any questions that you have about anything I've done or anything you would like me to do and show you next, then please pop a comment on below. Alrighty, thanks ever so much for watching. This is Pip Todman signing out for QueenPipCards.com. Thank you, bye.